Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Attiya Rahman and I'm working as an English teacher at Divisional Public School and College, Sahiwal. I welcome you all in today's online English class. As you all know that we have started a chapter, Dorothy Meets the Scarecrow. In today's lesson, we will be discussing the exercises of this chapter to see how to solve them out. But before we start our lesson, let me share today's objectives. By the end of this lesson, the students will be able to develop critical thinking about the text, they will be able to enhance their vocabulary, they will be able to compose a story by arranging given sentences, and they will be able to identify the nouns in the story. Now, let's start our lesson. The first exercise of our today's lesson is exercise A3 and it is about some statements that we are going to mention as true or false. The question of the exercise is which of these sentences are true or false. For true sentences we will be writing T and for false sentences we will be writing F. The first sentence is the scarecrow never gets tired. जैसा कि हमें पता है स्केयरक्रो ड्राई ग्रास का बना हुआ था, उसके अंदर कोई सेंसेस नहीं थे, सो इसलिए ना उसे कोई दर्द फील होता था और ना ही वो कभी थकता था. सो दिस सेंटेंस इज ट्रू. द स्केयरक्रो इज फ्राइटेंड ऑफ द फार्मर. डू यू रिमेम्बर कि स्केयरक्रो किस चीज से डरता था? यस, वो फार्मर से नहीं बल्कि लाइटेड मैट से डरता था. सो दिस सेंटेंस इज फॉल्स. द ग्रेट ऑज लिव्स इन द डायमंड सिटी. No, the great Oz lived in the Emerald City. So this sentence is also false. Dorothy has a dog called Coco. Do you remember? Yes, Dorothy के dog का नाम Coco नहीं बल्कि Toto था. So this sentence is also false. The scarecrow is wearing a blue hat. Yes, the scarecrow is wearing a pointed blue hat. So this sentence is true. Now, let's move on to the next exercise. That is exercise B1 in which we will be arranging letters to make meaningful words. The question of this exercise is, can you find these words in the story? The letters are not in the correct order. So, question से हमें पता चल रहा है कि जो भी unarranged letters हमें दिए गए हैं, उनको जब हम arrange करेंगे तो हमारे पास आने वाला word story से related होगा. So, let's see. The first word is fed stuff. इसके ना तो कोई मीनिंग बन रहे हैं और ना ही इसकी कुछ समझ आ रही है. So, इन लेटर्स को जब हम अरेंज करेंगे तो ये वर्ड बन जाएगा stuff. You remember, we read this word in Dorothy Meets the Scarecrow. That scarecrow was stuffed with dry grass or straw. The next word is crow's race. यहाँ भी लेटर्स अरेंज नहीं है, इनको जब हम अरेंज करेंगे तो ये बन जाएगा स्केयरक्रो. द नेक्स्ट वन इज लेम रेड और ये बन जाएगा एमरल्ड. व्हाट्स अ गेट, इसकी कुछ समझ नहीं आ रही, सो इन लेटर्स को अरेंज करके बन जाएगा द ग्रेट ऑज. गोल्डफिनर, ये क्या होता है? इनको अरेंज करेंगे तो ये बन जाएगा कॉर्नफील्ड. So next and last word is girlfriend. मैंने तो ये वर्ड कभी नहीं सुना. So इन लेटर्स को जब हम अरेंज करेंगे तो ये बन जाएगा gratefully. इस एक्सरसाइज में सबसे ज़्यादा इस बात का आपने ख्याल रखना है कि जो अनअरेंज्ड लेटर्स हैं उनका नंबर सेम होना चाहिए उन लेटर्स के साथ जो कि आपने अरेंज किए हैं. जैसे आपके पास फर्स्ट वर्ड है स्टफ्ड. स्टफ्ड में आपके पास 7 लेटर्स हैं. सो इसी तरह आपके अनअरेंज लेटर्स भी 7 थे, सो जिनको अरेंज करने से आपके पास स्टफ्ड बना. इसी तरह क्रोज रेस में आपके पास 9 लेटर हैं. इन 9 के 9 लेटर्स को जब आप अरेंज करेंगे तो आपके पास स्केयरक्रो बनेगा. सो इस एक्सरसाइज में आपने इस बात का ख्याल रखना है कि आपके अनअरेंज्ड और अरेंज्ड लेटर्स का नंबर सेम होना चाहिए. Now, let's move on to the next exercise, which is exercise B3, in which we will be finding words by given hints. The question of this exercise is, try to find these words in the story. And the first hint is, this keeps an area closed off or protected, usually made of wood. If you think of the hint and say in the picture, you can easily guess the answer. Yes, the answer is fence. Now let's move on to the next one. Something worn on the head to keep one warm or to keep the sun off. Yes, the answer is hat. A thin piece of metal with a sharp point at one end and a round head at the other. You can see the picture as well. Yes, you're right. The answer is pin. A container used for holding things, often made of interwoven strips of wire or cane. Yes, the answer is basket. These rodents look like large mice with long tails and pointed snouts. As you can see in the picture, yes, the answer is rats. The organ of the body in the skull. It controls movements, sensations, and thoughts. Yes, you're right. It's brain. So you see that all the hints are giving the answers related to the story. Now, let's move on to the next exercise. And this exercise is exercise C1, in which we will be arranging sentences to compose a story. The first sentence is, the man took a note out from his pocket and gave it to him. The taxi went off down the road. A taxi arrived and the man got in. He was sitting on a bench waiting for a bus. The driver asked him for some money. The bus didn't come. The taxi arrived at the house. All these sentences are of a story, but they are not making any sense because they are not in the correct order. Now, let's put them in the correct order to see what the story is about. The first sentence will be, he was sitting on a bench waiting for a bus. The bus didn't come. A taxi arrived and the man got in. The driver asked him for some money. The man took a note out from his pocket and gave it to him. The taxi went off down the road. The taxi arrived at the house. Yes, now the story is making sense. The story is about a man who was waiting for the bus, but the bus didn't come. So he hired a taxi to go home. Now we will move on to the next exercise, and this is exercise C2, in which we will be identifying nouns from the story that we have just arranged in exercise C1. Do you remember what are nouns? Yes, nouns are the names of anything. Nouns can be a place, a person, a creature, or a thing. So, let's identify the nouns. He was sitting on a bench waiting for a bus. In this sentence, bench and bus are nouns. The bus didn't come. In this sentence, we have only one noun, and that is bus. A taxi arrived and the man got in. Here, taxi and man are both nouns. The driver asked him for some money. Here, driver and money are nouns. The man took a note out from his pocket and gave it to him. In this sentence, man, note, and pocket, three are the nouns. The taxi went off down the road. यहाँ पर taxi और road दोनों nouns हैं. The taxi arrived at the house. In this sentence, taxi and house both are nouns. I hope you have understood the exercises really well. Now it's time for recapitulation. For this purpose, I have some MCQ type questions for you. The first one is, Dorothy lived in Kansas. Do you think this statement is true or is it false? Yes, this statement is true. The next one is, the word by arranging the letters R, A, B, I, N is binraw or brain? Yes, the correct answer is brain. The The next one is things that we wear on our feet. Do we wear basket or do we wear boots? Yes, the correct answer is boots. Scarecrow does not get tired. There is dash noun or nouns in this sentence. Is there one noun or are there two nouns? Yes, you're right. There is only one noun and that is the scarecrow. You have answered all the questions right. It means that you have understood the exercises well. Now it's time for homework. I have got something really interesting for you. And your homework is some riddles. Riddles matlab paheliyan. So the first one is, what has hands and a face but can't hold anything or smile? The next one is, what begins with T, finishes with T and has T in it? Think, 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 and I know you can guess the answer. That's all from my side today. I hope you have enjoyed the lesson. Thank you and have a nice day. Allah Hafiz.